Hey guys, back to What's the Tea podcast, and today's episode is personal. It's about growing up with an absent father. He was in and out basically, like he was in jail doing time. This is not about blaming anyone. It's just about honesty. The type of truth that sets you free and you could start healing. This could be whether your dad left, he wasn't there emotionally, never gave you the love that you think you deserve or you deserved. This episode is for anyone who ever felt that empty void where your dad should have been. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let me just start off by explaining the dynamic there, So I do have a real dad. It's just like he's been there, hasn't really been there, and it's just been like a lot. He's there, but he's never really there for important things in my life or anything along those lines. It's not just about, how would I say, like just having a dad. It's having a dad to like care for you, provide for you, or guide you really mostly like in certain aspects of life. So me having an absent dad can also be like he's there, but it's like he's not really there. So like for me, I spent like growing up, my dad was there, very loving towards me. Then when him and my mom just separated, it was just like, well, bitch, F you and the kid. So that's pretty much, my dad is still an alcoholic, and like that plays a lot into that aspect of like, I always felt like he chose alcohol and other things besides his kid. I'm his only child. So yeah, it's difficult and stuff like that. To me, growing up and like having the type of dad that I have and how absent he was, it created a lot of like trust issues within myself. I was very angry at the world because it felt like I had to fucking be his kid. To be his like parent and correct him like, yo, you're hurting my feelings, or like, why do you keep doing the things that you do? Like, you're not right in the head, motherfucker. Like, thanks to you, I have all these root issues and stuff like that. And it caused a lot of like relationship problems too. Like, I was trying to find, and this is gonna sound crazy, I was trying to find my dad in relationships because it's like I was craving that love that he never gave to me, and I was just trying to get it from a guy, or a girl, whatever. And it just didn't work out how the hell it worked out, and it was a lot of trauma that I had to deal with my dad. And like he has such a strong temper. He was the biggest asshole, a dickhead. But I know that he also went through a lot of things in his life that it's actually quite sad, but I just wished he would have taken another route, like a lot of parents will understand. And because of that, like I always had to be strong. Like, well, my dad wasn't really there, so it was just like, and I think dads fail to realize that they play an important role in their kid's life, just like a mom plays an important role in their life, and a dad too. Like, it's so beautiful to see a father be in that child's life and a mother be in that child's life. Unfortunately, it was in my cards that I have an absent father. And that made me just be strong for myself, because I couldn't really rely on a father figure. That it just, and just craving that hole in my life where it's just like, damn, like, he's not really there. Like, I don't know. It just shapes you differently. Your mentality changes a lot when you don't have a dad, because it's hard, like, you would wish that if, let's say, like, your first heartbreak and you go to your dad and, like, man ain't shit and da 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 da, next time you do this, next time, certain things like that. But unfortunately, it's just not like that. And for me, it has taught me a lot. But the emotional side of it, it's like, damn, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? If I wasn't born, maybe he wouldn't, maybe he wouldn't be like this, or stuff like that. But the sad part of it all is seeing your father be a better person to someone else's kid, or treat another child that is not you, right, better. And I've seen my dad do that. He's so loving with other people's kid, and a lot of things, like, I'm like, oh, so it must be hella nice, like, if you could do that for someone else, why can't you do it for me? Like, what about me is, like, triggering you, or what about me, like, do you not like? Because I don't understand. So it's just things like that makes you think, like, you become very vulnerable. Like, you become very, like, your self-worth. You question it. You question if you're ever going to find someone who's opposite from your father. Like, it's just a lot of things that goes into perspective, because let's say you start dating. Now you have trust issues. Are they going to be like your father? Like, and having an absent father is like, you have to swallow a lot of things, because, like, you can't really speak. So it's like, when you're, like, shit, having una discusión with someone or with your partner. For example, what I used to do before, when I wasn't really, like, healing properly, I was just shut down. And I had attachment issues, and that was not just with relationship, with friendships too, because I'm like, why are you leaving me? Like, what's going on? Like, this and the third, like, why? And I'm just like, and when I started noticing that people started acting funny towards me, I'm like, oh, so this is how it is? Okay, no problem. I just emotionally detached myself from everyone. Again, this is not just relationship. This is not just, it's also friendships and stuff like that. So that really caused a lot of issues with, like, friendship wise, relationship wise. Like, it hurt me in that sense. And I will always have a wall up, always, with anybody, and but you have to learn throughout, you know, um, the years. And it takes me to the understanding and the healing. So I will always ask God, like, why would you give me this man? Like, why would you give me this man as my dad? And I understood that he also has trauma that he couldn't fix. He has issues where he would maybe try to express them and it would get shut down. And so instead of breaking the cycle, he would just repeat it, And it wasn't an easy walk in the park with my dad. I'm not going to get too much into details like that, because yes, I've healed from it, but it's just, I guess I don't want to remember him like that, especially during the moments that he's going through right now. So, but it was understanding, like I said, like, speaking to God, like, hey, like, why would you give me this type of dad? Like, why isn't he there? Or like, it took me a while to really understand that. I think it took me until like I was in my 20s to fully be like, that's it. I'm tired of blaming myself and really like, you know, I went to therapy. I went to therapy with him. I've done a lot of things for myself in the sense of like detaching that mindset of why me and then understanding why in the sense of like he must have been going through something that he's not really trying to let go, but I'm trying to let go of that hurt and I'm trying to let go of like the anger because I had because I don't have hate again. I don't have hate against my dad. Like I had so much hate with him. I'm telling you, like he's a drunkie, right? So if let's say if he would call me, he was drunk, like it would just trigger me. And but when I was in my like middle school, high school, and like the first 2 years of my 20s, once I've learned to just accept reality and like look at certain things a different way, I'm just like, oh, so it's just you. You know, I'm not the problem, you are. And I'm trying to fix you, but I can't fix you. So if I can't fix you to be a better father for myself, then I'm going to fix myself. And I've learned throughout my 20s that, and this is just in general, not only just because I have an absent father, but holding resentment will really get you stuck and not have, you won't have your blessings. Simple as that. You won't have your blessings. Tú te vas a quedar atrasado. Like that's it. Like la vida no va a seguir. Tú vas a estar ahí and then that's it. If you let go and let God, like trust me. And it's hard to say that. Trust. It is so hard to say, let go and let God. It's hard. But you have to really put in the work as well. So like I went to therapy and stuff like that. And I really did. I helped myself as well. And I have to give it up to God because like a girl suffers from depression, anxiety, and she a little bipolar too. So, but I've grown to really understand and I tried to understand him, but I also kept my distance. I just started speaking to my real dad last week because I found out something. But before that, I haven't spoken to him in 5 years. So it would be like that. Like it would be we will speak for a couple of months and then we will spend years without speaking. Because either he will say something crazy out of his mouth, trigger me, or something along those lines. So but now I'm at a point where I'm okay. I do check up on him and stuff like that. I'm not easily triggered by certain comments or this and the third by him. I just like, okay. It's so easy. Like you could take your power back any day. Baby, you can take your power. Trust me. And also closure. I'm never gonna get and I'm sorry from my dad because he tends to, instead of communicating or anything like that, he tends to brush it over and just be like, oh, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like nothing happened. I like to communicate. If you're upset with me or anything like that, talk to me. And I'm a very understandable person. I used to be hothead. Yes, I understand that. But how much I've grown, baby, there's nothing stopping me. I'm never going to get that. I'm sorry, daughter, for X, Y, and Z. And it's okay. If I would have made this video in my early 20s when I was still in high school, I would have been bawling, crying with so much hate. No. I wish nothing but the best for my father. And I want to thank him for getting my mom pregnant and for her to being the best single mother she could have ever been. And I'm so grateful that I have so many powerful, strong women in my life. My mom, my sisters, you know, my brother. I love my brother, you know. He's not really a dad figure to me because it's like, the fuck? Like, what? But I have a good village around me holding me down. And that doesn't mean I don't care for my dad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I care for my dad, but I don't love my dad. I care for him because, that's the person that God chose for him to be my dad, but I don't love my dad. Like, I don't, I do my duties as a daughter, but that's for me. It's not, he doesn't deserve anything that I do for him, to be honest. He doesn't deserve it. But for me and for my sanity, it is what it is. Like I always said, I will ride or die for my mother. Shit, I will kill for my mom. For my dad, no. Not even one bit. And he's going through some stuff. And I'm just like, okay. You made your bed, now you have to lay in it, and now you have to deal with the consequences that has to come with that. And I understand that that comes with everything. So, and I accepted that I would never get the apology that I always wanted, and I accepted that years ago. So, it is what it is. And this leads to breaking the cycle. I come from a broken home because that's like the term. But that doesn't mean I have to look for someone to build that life and be a broken home. I want to have my kids, and I want my kids to see mom and dad together, loving each other, and all of that. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, when I have my kids, I want them to have a strong mother and a strong father that are all in one roof. And it's crazy to say this, and I'm going to say this. And this is something that I discussed with my mom and my mom as well. I prefer to have a good father to my kids and not a good husband. I could leave him, but if we leave each other, baby, I know for a fact that he is going to be there for my kids no matter what. I prefer that. And I know I could have both. Yes, and I will have both in Jesus' name. Amen. That is what we're praying for. I pray that I have a husband until I'm old, and my kids, they see that different side that I didn't get to have. But I stand 10 toes down. I prefer to have a good father to my kids versus a good husband. Sorry. But again, I know that God will bless me with a good husband that is going to be a good father to our kids, and we're going to grow old together. So I'm never letting go of that vision, of that goal that I have, but it's all in God's timing. It is never mine. I thank God because my stepdad, he did step up as a dad as well. And nobody's perfect, He did step up to be a good dad, and he filled those voids of a father figure in my life, and I will forever be grateful for that. He did more, in my opinion. than what my dad has done, but it is okay. It's always okay, and I thank God that he blessed me with the mom that I have, because she stepped up when she was alone. She was by herself. She had 3 kids. My brother's already old, so she was taking care of my sister and I. But when I tell you, my mom is that girl. She is that girl. And she showed me that whether with a man or not, you will always strive in life. And I will forever be grateful for God giving me my mom, because she's that girl. I've been through so much in life that I'm grateful that she's strong. She's a very, very, very strong woman, and she made me who I am. But definitely, my mom is that girl. She will always be that girl. I will do whatever for my mom. And God really blessed me with a lot of people, that also filled that void of like an absent father, like my mom, for example. She gave me a lot of consejos in this life, like a lot of advice, a lot of things, because she also went through that. So it's like a manual in life that she gave me. But I will forever be grateful for every person that God put me in this life to teach me a lesson, to teach me a lot of things, and just he removed them out of my life. But definitely, I just want everybody to know that if you have an absent father or absent mother, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. They have issues within themselves that, unfortunately, when they had kids, they try to put it into them. But it's up to you to break that cycle. And if you don't do it, your mental health and your sanity, forget about it. But always pray and switch the mindset from why me versus why are people doing what, why. Try to understand, because everyone has a secret, everybody has a past, everybody has this. So you're not the problem, your father or your mother is. Just try to understand them just a little bit. Keep them from a distance. You don't have to, you really don't have to have them in your life. Keep it from a distance, arm's length. And it's okay if you don't want to have content, have any have what the fuck. I feel like I feel like I feel like it's just a matter of knowing your worth and moving on. I decided to have to communicate with my dad simply because of health issues that he's having, and I am the only child. So is for me is more so a sense of responsibility, even though I've been through hell and back with this man. But it's just for me, and because I know God put it in me, and it is what it is. So you just have to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. There's nothing much you can't really do about it. So It is all up to you. It's okay if you never want to have any communication with this person or anything like that. But if you do, make sure that you're healed and make sure that you set your boundaries. Because, girl, I got my boundaries set. Okay? You ain't finna, huh? You gonna talk to me crazy? You think this is, no, bye. Blocked. I had that man blocked for so many goddamn years. Trust me, I'll do it again. But it's all up to you, and make sure you do what you want to do because you want to do it. Forget what the people say, this and the third. No. My number one supporters are my mom and my mom. And you have to have a strong village around you when you have certain things like this going on in your life. But yeah. So have a good one. Well, you guys just seen my episode of Absent Fathers. And if you're listening and this hits home to you guys, just know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people actually that are around me and I've known that have absent fathers, and everyone just takes it differently, you know? You don't have to repeat the same story or the same pain forever. You can choose to heal, like I chose to heal, and move on from it and just know that it wasn't your fault. It's just they had a bigger issue than what it was. Thank you for watching this episode and listening to it. I hope you guys enjoy it. If this episode honestly meant something to you, I hope you guys share it with someone that needs to hear it, or I don't know, maybe feel comfort by it. And yeah, I see you guys on the next episode of What's the Tea.